Hi, you're with Scott. It's midnight. It's always midnight. This is your... I did forget ASMR time. Hi, you're with Scott. It's not really ASMR. Hi, you're with Scott. It's Ganjikidd, my stream. It's midnight. It's always midnight. This is your right ear. And this is your left ear. 36 questions for increasing closeness, backed by relaxing video game music. I don't even like the music. What's it doing now? It's GoldenEye. What's going on? GoldenEye. You can't have GoldenEye music. Relaxing. It's James Bond theme. I get copyright, won't it? I get copyright. They're all little short ones. Bomberman, Mega Man. Are there any long ones that are nice and chill? What's that? Pokemon. Pokemon. No, I don't like that. Now it's an advert. You can chuff off. Right, you're ruining my stream. You're getting my stream. You're messing with my stream. You're ruining my stream. I'm doing it now. 45 minutes is all you need. We might take a bit longer, knowing me, knowing you. But we're going to do some relationship counselling. Obviously, I'm single, so I've got you. We've got you. But we could do it together. But really, like, I thought it'd be funny to do relationship counselling from the perspective of a single person. So we've got some. You identify with the. This is what you would do if you weren't me being funny. You'd identify someone with whom you'd like to become closer. Relationship counselling. Ideally, it could be someone you know well, ideally, or someone you're getting to know. Oh, you could just do that. We'll do it with chat. We'll do it with you. But I also think it'd be funny to answer it as if in my usual curmudgeonly way. You need 45 minutes, 15 minutes. Take turns asking each other questions. It's going to be difficult. You're gonna get. Look, or you can pipe up if you want. You're gonna get close. So don't feel that you need to reveal your innermost secrets in live chat. That's fine. We'll see how it goes. So right, we'll see how it goes. I've got my big window. I've got my little window. I've got the chat. Got everything ready. Right, set 1. 15 minutes on set 2. Spend 15 minutes on set 3. Move on. It says don't. It actually says, like, move on after 15 minutes, even if you haven't finished them. And we can come back. It also says you come back to this. You don't do it once. You do it, like, every month or every 2 months, or depending on how rocky your relationship is. So we can do it again. This could be done again. Look, anyway, 15 minutes, set 1. You ready? On your marks? You ready? Let's go. Given your choice of anyone in the world, whom now? Whom is it? Whom? You're posh, aren't you? Who's asking the questions here? Maybe we should get a robot to answer. For the edit, maybe we should get a robot to ask the questions, and I'll pretend I'm talking to the artificial intelligence.
Given the choice of anyone in the world, whom would you want as a dinner guest?
Whom? Given the choice of anyone in the world, whom would you want as a dinner guest? Oh, that's rubbish, isn't it? That's just only the most cliched question in the world, isn't it? Oh, who do you want for dinner? Oh, I'll tell you what the correct answer is first. I'll tell you the correct answer first. You. I want you, whoever your relationship counselling is with, I want them. My partner, my relationship, the person I'm trying to build the relationship, that's the person I want to have dinner with. That's the whole point of the exercise. What's the point in bringing other people in now? Oh, I'll have Einstein. Oh, I'll talk to Einstein all night. Forget you. That won't work, will it? That's not the point. Are you allowed to bring one as well? Are we having foursies now? Is this a couple dinner? Because, if that's the case, do we have to pick people who are in a couple? Like, the Queen and... Oh, she's on her own now. She could bring a dog, call one of the... She could bring a butler, carry her around. She's poorly at the moment. Let's not joke about it. Look, who would you want, maybe I should say? Who would you want? And you should say me. Me. That's the correct answer. That's the correct answer for this. But, we've only got 15 minutes, so I'm going to have to pick Jesus. Anyone in the world. I mean, does Jesus count? He might still be around. You don't know. You're not at liberty to tell us whether Jesus is here or not. You have an environmentalist or activist to dinner, and that means I have to cook everything super vegan, but not even in the oven. I'm not even allowed to use the oven. I have to warm it from the goodness of my heart. We can have raw food. We can have some of that raw vegan food. You'll like that. No, I don't know. Maybe you won't like it. It'll be blended, some of it. I'll steam up some broccoli with the heat from the sun. I'm a vegan. I shouldn't be critiquing them. Look, anyone can come for dinner. Anyone. I mean, do they get to cook? If they're going to do some cooking, I might pick someone who's a good cook, but maybe not. I think the correct answer is you, isn't it? That's the correct answer to that. Next question. Should we move on, or should we invite someone else to dinner? Who else could you possibly, like, who would, because you'd have to have a good chat with them. So that'd be fun, wouldn't it? Maybe a comedian, someone you like that. Good chat. To be honest, I'd probably have to go for Elon Musk, wouldn't I? And be like, all the way through dinner, I'd just be mentioning, oh, are you enjoying those sprouts? Those raw sprouts, Elon? Yeah, those raw sprouts. Sorry, I couldn't afford to use the oven today. We're really not getting along with the old, life's tough. Sorry, the sprouts weren't on special offer, so you've only got a couple, because life's tough, Elon. And I keep just dropping that. And by the end, I'll be like, Elon, can you lend me a tenner? Do you think? Like a tenner? Because to you, £10, Elon, is like nothing, isn't it? So, like, do you think you could lend me a tenner? And like, by the end, I'll be like, Elon, I've got this business idea. Get him drunk. Get him all the way along. Get him drunk. Get Elon really drunk. He'll be getting out his powder in the toilet, and I'll be like, what's that for? Oh, washing your hands, is it, Elon? Is it, have you brought your own soap powder for washing your hands? You just do whatever you want in the toilet, Elon. Don't worry, Elon. Anyway, look, Elon's not like Elon's not like the ideal guest, but at the end of it, he might like leave some, like he might drop some, like he might leave you his watch, and his watch might be more expensive than my house. He might say, "Oh, I've had such a great time. Here's my watch." Probably wouldn't. Oh, what about a famous artist? Like, you could get Damien Hirst, right? Oh, this is it. I've figured who I'd like. Banksy, right? And what I'd do is I'd serve all Banksy's dinner. I've done this as a project in the past myself. You won't believe it, but it's true. I've got them upstairs. These they're not canvases, they're paper. But I put the dinner on the paper, and then they eat the dinner, and then what's left on the paper is just sort of artwork left behind, and that would be really expensive. That would be valuable. So Banksy can come, and I'll keep his dinner papers. That's question 1 done. Ding, solved. So relationship going well. Number 2, would you like to be famous? In what way? I don't think so, to be honest. I can categorically say, like, I'd quite like things that I've done to gain some sort of notoriety. That's acceptable. But like famous, like we talk about in the big way in the world at the moment, you know. Actually, I'll tell you what. If someone were to cast me, like if someone were to watch one of these random streams and go, he's the guy for the job, and put me in like a Avengers movie or something like that, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, the Harry Potter, like maybe I get in the Harry Potter because I'm British or something, and everyone's like, oh, it's so and so, he's famous now. Like, yeah, I wouldn't care. That'd be all right. You know, I'd go for that. It'd probably take some of the pressure off, wouldn't it? Financial pressure in life. I don't know if it would. I suppose it would, because you can always just ring up the newspaper and say, oh, do you want to come and take a photo of me? I'm going to go to the supermarket and crash my car on a cocaine bender. I'm not, but, you know, it'd make good news, wouldn't it? And then we'd share the money. Like, do I want to be a famous vegan? Oh, that'd be nice, yeah, if I could, you know. Well, I don't know, the way Greta Thunberg goes about, I really admire that. But I also feel like if I were to be in that situation, the blowback, like to be in that situation, you have to deal with all this other stuff. You'd have to get like a social media manager and people like that to deal with all this stuff, and you'd have to have all these opinions going around about you, and like I'd just be like maybe not, you know. I don't know. It's not a primary driver for me anyway. The fame concept in itself, you know, being known before you know people. So you walk in a room and people are like, oh, that's so and so. Oh, I've got these thoughts about so and so. And you go up to them and say, hi, nice to meet you, I'm so-and-so. And they go, oh, I already know. Well, tell me your name then. Tell me something about you. Let's find out about you then. It would be a bit weird because they think they know, but then they might not know. And you might say some things and they might go, oh, I don't know about that. That's not who I thought you were. I don't know. That's question 2. That's question 2. Question 3. Before making a telephone call, Hey, hang on now. Getting a bit personal now. Well, I suppose it is it's relationships. Question 3. Before making a telephone call, do you ever rehearse what you're going to say? Why? That's the secondary question. 3B there. They're getting... And that one, in what way? That was a secondary question. They're getting extra questions, sneaking them in. Before making a telephone call, do you ever rehearse what... No, I don't. I'd never rehearse it. I'll tell you why. Why? Why not? That should now read. That throwed you, hasn't it? Artificial intelligence overlords writing the internet for me. Right, so the reason why not is because you don't know what the other people are going to say. Person, usually one. You're on the phone, and usually it goes if making a telephone call you're thinking, I'm going to talk to so and so. These are the things that I need to talk about. You've probably got a reason, maybe not sometimes, but like that's initially driven you to pick up the blower and tap in the numbers. And then when it's ringing, you're like getting scared. That's what's happening to me. The longer it rings, the more anxious you feel. More anxiously, the anxiety started. You're thinking, I'm just going to make sure I say it. The thing you're rehearsing is, hi, it's Scott. Can I speak to person? Or if it is person, hi, it's Scott. It's nice to. Oh, see, I've already buggered it up. It's nice to. Hi, you do that a bit. You stutter. You can't get your bit, and they say, oh yeah. Like they're into it then. Because they're like, they saw who it was in the first place. They've got a light up phone with their names on it, and when you call, they know who it is. So they're and then you go, oh, what have you said? I'll respond to that, and then like after a bit, you're like, oh, I thought there was something I was supposed to. Usually towards the end when they're bored of, and then you try and say your thing, but you forgot what later on when you've hung up. You think, oh, I was supposed to say that to them. That was what it was. So I don't bother rehearsing because you don't know what they're going to say. You don't know how that's going to go. If you rehearsed it, the other people don't know their lines. Like you'd be on the phone to them and you'd be like, and then they'd say, and you go, where? You were supposed to say, because I've got it on my lines here, and then my next bit is, so no, that's not going to happen. They're going to mess up their lines. You're going to be thrown. It's just a bad. Why would you want to rehearse it? Unless you rehearse it with the people you're calling. Unless you call them up to have a rehearsal. That's a good idea. Maybe I'll start doing that. Hi, it's Scott. I'm just calling up to rehearse the phone call that we're going to have in a minute. So I've already started messing it up. You see, this is why we need a rehearsal. What do you mean, Scott, a rehearsal? Well, I'm going to call you in a minute and I'm going to talk about... And I've got it on a piece of paper here. Let me just... Do you mind if I just text you your lines? Do you mind if I could email or text you your lines? I could text you my lines as well if you want. Well, no, there's no point in me texting you my lines as well, because then we won't be having the conversation. You'll know what I'm going to say. But, well, I don't know what you're going to say. Well, I will do if I give you your lines. Won't I? I'll know. So that's a good question. Like, if you're in a relationship, text somebody their lines before you call them. And that can clean up a lot of confusion. Relationship advice for the single man. Me making a telephone call to somebody, it doesn't matter who, single man. Do you need to rehearse it? No. Number 4. What would constitute a perfect, inverted commas, perfect, I don't know if it's supposed to be ironic, perfect day for you? What would constitute, again? Oh, look at the big words, constitute. A perfect. Oh, perfect. So nothing's ever perfect, I suppose. Nothing's ever perfect. What would constitute a perfect day for you? Well, it seems a bit weird to say, but not having to get out of bed, that would be quite high up on the list. But then, that wouldn't be so good, would it? You're given free rein here, aren't you? You're given free rein. You as well, if you want. Perfect day. So you want to get out of bed for that. You only got 24 hours of it, and it's perfect all the way through. So, for one day at least, I suppose there you go. Here's a perfect day for me. It would have to start at midnight, and I'd have to be already enjoying it. Like at some party or something. So I don't want to go home and go to bed. The perfect day starts at midnight and it goes all the way through to the next day. So it would involve some sort of stimulant to keep me awake, which is bad. So that wouldn't be perfect. That would be bad. So immediately we've gone off on the wrong track here. That's a bad idea. Maybe I just wake up early. I don't know. That wouldn't sound perfect to me. I like lying. Then I don't get much of my perfect day. My own perfect day is being hindered by the fact that I like a lion. That's rubbish. You get 24 hours of pure perfection. Like every cupboard you open, all the chocolate goodies just start tumbling out. The pancakes, they're just on the side. The strawberries, probably in the high end. At the high end, they cut up a strawberry in half and put that on with a bit of mint, don't they? A little bit of mint and something. Throw away the mint. Who wants raw mint? Like that. So in the morning, do you think you've already experienced your best day? Oh yeah, absolutely. Yes, I do. Yes. In conglomeration, I think at the moment. I think in my heady youth, the hedonistic and freewheeling approach to life, I got in some scrapes, but I had some good times. And I think maybe not an entire day was all just wonderful, but I think if you copy and paste and cut out like this thing we did here, and then that evening I had there, and then maybe this dinner here, and I put them together, I've had some pretty I'm quite happy, even if God forbid, please don't strike me down, God, but even if I don't mind joking about Jesus, but when it comes to me, I'm praying. Like, even if like life were to end tomorrow, I'd have a good list of 10, like top 10 good things. We could probably go through them, but not right now because we've only got 15 minutes a question. And some of the things would not be allowed to be said on Twitch. Absolutely would be against terms of service. Not because they're crimes against people, not because I've done something bad to somebody, but because like Twitch has got terms of service. Like some of the things are like naughty. I'll tell you one thing I did want. No. No. I'll tell you none of them. They all sound bad. I'll make a list off camera, and then I'll tell you the good ones that I can tell you on camera. But anything that, like, you know, I used to go to raves and like festivals, and like a good story was once I was stood in a fire. It was a good story. I was stood in the fire because for some reason I was a bit confused, a bit discombobulated, we'll say. You know, I'd been to the festival and had a good time at the old Reading Festival. There were rock bands and all sorts, and got to the evening, and I seemed to become more discombobulated as the evening wore on. And so at one point I was stood in this fire, and I was like chanting and raving, and like not raving as in partying, but like speaking like to the people that were gathered around the fire, because it seemed like they were gathered around this fire, and I should like chat. And somebody said, you know, your leg is on the fire, and I was on the fire, so I had to like, oh, that's bad. And then for the rest of the festival, I put that out, rolled around, put that out, oh, get it off. And then for the rest of the festival, which was another day and a half, I didn't take a change of trousers, so I had one trouser leg badly burned off, and that was quite a fun look. I really enjoyed that. That was quite a fun evening. And during that evening, because you know, in the festival and the campsite, basically everyone's tent looks the same. And they've all got little campfires. They probably don't these days, like setting fire to things. I don't know. They've all got little campfires, and you go around, and one of these is yours, and you're hoping that you're going to stumble. You know, you need to find your little group, but because you've gone out with one of your mates and gone off and done this, whatever, like you're just wandering around. I say me. You're wandering around, and like every campsite, it might not be yours, but it's just friendly, nice people who are at the festival. And so you go like stumbling, hello, and like it's like, oh, this isn't my group. But you're like, hello, and you think, I've got to spend 5 minutes here now so as I don't look too strange before I go away. Or like sometimes you just go straight away because you're like, oh, I don't like the look of these. So anyway, that happened. That was a fun. I remember wandering around the Reading campsites, you know, just like discombobulated and having a lot of fun. Every person I met and everywhere I went with a badly burned leg. The leg was fine. It was just the trousers. So what would constitute a perfect day to me? That wouldn't be up on the list. I'll tell you, well, what, reality wise, because I'll tell you what a perfect day would be if God came down from heaven and recommended me a few things on Netflix and then cooked me some dinner. No, you know, obviously finding out that you were the son of the one true king of like Britannia, and it turning out that meant I was heir to the throne of the world, and then everyone had to do what I say. And then, like, you know, all the ministers of the prime ministers and all that, they were like, oh, what should we do? And I'll be like, look, you know, sort it out now. I stuttered my words then. That was a bad first speech to the world, wasn't it? Oh, we don't have much confidence in him. Can we vote him out? No, you can't. Well, my perfect days so far have been the most hedonistic, yeah, because it was the most fun, I suppose, yeah. But I'm different now. I'm vegan, I don't drink, and I don't hedonist so often, so I don't actually, yeah, now I wouldn't, if you made me do all those things right now, I'd probably be like, oh gosh, this is going to be a heavy day. I wouldn't want to do it now, but I had fun when I was doing it. But yeah, perfect day would have to, well, you wouldn't want, you know, I wouldn't want to have to do much work, but like I'd have minions, but you know, learning like wonderful things, and like equivalent to winning the lottery, but even better, isn't it? Because like, you know, like that would be perfect, wouldn't it? Perfect. It would turn out that even at the age I am, because I'm no longer at the age where you can pursue a long-term career in professional sports, for example. Like, you have to be young and on the curve up. But it would turn out that like I was actually really talented at every sport, and I could do the Olympics, and I could, you know, win things, and you know, those sort of things would be perfect, wouldn't they? We're spending too long on this. You can't just be like, oh, I've chuffed it up as well, because the correct answer to this question, isn't it, relationship counsellor? relationship counsellor is. The correct answer is, you and me, we have a nice cosy morning, lie in. I'll make you breakfast in bed. I'll do that. So the servants make breakfast in bed for the Lord of the world. Look, we go for a walk and feed the ducks and or whatever your favourite day is. We do that, and then it's nice because I'm just with you. It doesn't matter. The correct answer is we can do whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm just with you. That's the correct answer, isn't it? Perfect. So it's always perfect as long as I'm with you. So I chuffed that one up, asking to be king of the world. Okay, number 5. When did you last sing to yourself, to someone else? Didn't I just do that earlier? I sing to the dog every day. Like every day. Sing to the dog every day. Don't I? Every day. To someone else? Is that a separate question? Because you're getting your cheeky questions in now. Someone else. When did I last sing to someone else? Was at the birthday party of my friend a few months back when because we couldn't have a festival because you can't really, or you can, but you're risking the risk of COVID, and it was a few months back and all this. We just had a nice party in the garden that we turned into a bit of a festival set, and I sang some songs there. And then I did a bit of karaoke. Get the hat down. Don't let the hat run away with you. Number 6. That was a nice question, wasn't it? Number 5. Number 6. If you were able to live to the age of 90, hoping, and retain either the mind or body of a 30-year-old for the last 60 years of your life, which would you want? What? So you get to live to 90, okay? Let's assume that we get to live to 90. That's a nice part. We've done that. And retain either the mind or body of a 30-year-old for the last 60 years. Which do you want? Or the body, isn't it? Because your mind wouldn't... Are you saying, like, I'm going to be 90 and I'm going to be dementia? Or am I going to be 90... Like, this is silly. It's got to be the body. Like, even if your mind, like, starts to degrade, your body's going to be, like, solid, right? The other way round, you have the body of a 90-year-old, but the mind of a 30-year-old. What does that mean? I want to go raving, but, like, I physically can't. What does that mean? I want to go raving, but I physically can't. Or, like, I'm all agitated about things like I used to be when I was younger. Politically agitated, but, I need someone to push me down the rally. And, like, just being out, I might catch a cold and it'll kill me. No, I don't know. No, that's probably not. Like, the body, that's safety. That's security, isn't it? That's, like, most of the stuff that happens to you when you get old that you worry about is physical, isn't it? Oh, I've fallen and broken my hip. The body, you'd be like this super sexy old person, but you wouldn't be old. You'd look like you're 30, so people would consider that... when you walk down the street, no one's going to be like, look, there's that 90-year-old. In the mind they are. They look like a... Actually, this is a really interesting question when it comes to gender dysmorphia and transgenderism, isn't it? Are you the old person because your mind is old? Like, but in that amount of time, my mind, in my opinion, I'm hoping, God please God, God please God, is going to be like, not maybe as sharp, but full of more knowledge and full of more interesting stuff and, like, full of, the richness of learned life. So give me a 30-year-old's body and maybe I would want to go raving because I can physically, but also maybe I'd have the the nuance to use that body to affect political change in a different way. Or I don't know. Definitely, I've read a really interesting book by Hanif Qureshi called The Body, where literally this happens. You sort of, if you're rich, you get given this special card and you get put into the new body when you die, and like you're like, oh, this is good. It's like retirement, but I can swim. But yeah, so you're definitely going to want that. It's going to really relieve all your problems in terms of health. Hopefully, please God. Hopefully I get there and my brain is still active and. Hopefully your brain goes on then. If you've got the body of a 30-year-old when you're 90, you've got another 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. You've got another 60 years. Because your body's only 30, isn't it? You've got another 60 years. What a stupid question. Would you rather die at 90, but with a childish outlook on life? Like I tell you what, most of us can actually achieve that. Can't we? You get more facile in your old age, don't you? Start to lose a few marbles. I'm joking. Me and Nan used to watch every... It's not even going to make me sad. I'll say this now. It's been enough time. Because I used to care for Nan, didn't I? So every weekend, on the weekends, I didn't used to go out, and recent times, this is during the COVID, no one was going out, it was COVID. But of the weekends, I would stay in with Nan, cook her dinner, and make sure that she was eating like lunch at the right time and dinner at the right time, making sure she was all right getting to and from the toilet and this and that. And then at evening time, we would watch Family Fortunes and Catchphrase, right? And it was like, you know, it's not, how do I put this? You know, it's childish kind of easy telly, isn't it? It's not challenging, and we didn't have any really challenging conversations. Like, she was maybe a bit sharper than that when she was a bit younger, I think. She still used to watch quiz shows and Corrie and stuff like that when she was a bit younger, but she did more crosswords, I remember. You know, did more things that were a bit more mentally taxing. And sometimes when we're watching these, bear in mind she's like a 90-year-old, I'm telling this story, we're watching these quiz shows, this Catchphrase, and sometimes she'll come out with the right answer, and I'll be like, that's quite sharp for Nan. And like, you know, like, even at 90, she's popping out with the right answer sometimes. So I think it kind of kept her brain, you know, thinking. So I think that was good. But we'd do that, you know, that would be an acceptable evening on a Friday and Saturday night to watch a bit of that, and then maybe a bit of the drama afterwards, and then bedtime for Nan. It used to be bedtime for me, but then it was bedtime for Nan. So that's what happens, isn't it? You get to the age of 90, you get a bit more child. You know, maybe not a 30-year-old. Maybe I'm talking more childish than that. Maybe I'm talking, you know, some semblance of the combination between you know, in some ways, a very old person sometimes has to be nurtured like a young child, don't they? Like, yeah. So nappies or whatever. But yeah, like that happens naturally to most of us. So that's, would you rather normality, or you get given the body of a 30-year-old for the last 60 years of your life? What do you mean for the last, hang on, that doesn't make sense. For the last 60 years, do they mean that it stays 30 for 60 years and then you pop it because you're actually 90? Still, that's better, isn't it? Still, it's better. The 30-year-old wouldn't probably get a I don't know, he's getting a blemish on their face because they picked it. Look, anyway, look, I think we've covered that. 15 minutes a question. It's now 5:05. We've got to hurry up. This is only set one. 15 minutes, they said, and if you didn't get through, you're supposed to move on. But I'm just going to push through. Do you have a secret hunch about how you will die? Relationship counselling. Do you have a secret hunch about how you will die? Secret hunch as well, not one that you've told people, but a secret one. I've got a secret anxiety. It's not secret. I have anxiety about panic attacks, heart attacks, feelings of panic, feeling like they're heart attacks, worried that this and that. I also get the cancer. You know, like, this is fucked up, but I'm going to say it now. I even swore, so this is reality. But like, my dad had cancer when I was young. He survived it. But he was very close to death, to the point where we had to go and say goodbye to him in the hospital. And like, it was like the doctors gave him weeks, not days. No, sorry, weeks, not months. But he did survive it. But since then, like in the years that have passed, stats, you know, other people that I know have died, like friends of friends and things like that. But the stats have changed. Well, back then I think it was 1 in 4, 1 in 5. Now it's 1 in 2 people get cancer. So having a secret hunch about how you'll die, like, I'm not trying to be dark, but if you toss that coin, like 50% of us get it. God forbid we should pump the money into the health service. Anyway, look, so secret hunch, nice relationship counselling. That's morbid. Number 8, name 3 things that you and your partner appear to have in common. Right, 1, we like me. Big fans of me. Me and me. Well, I haven't got a partner, so it's just me. 1, big fans of me. Number 2, we are me. Because it's me. Because I am me. It's just me on my own. One of the things we have in common is it's me. Another one is we're doing this quiz. There you go. There's 3. What more do you want? What more do you want? Oh, me and you. Oh, you. 3 things me and you have in common. You and I. Whom? We're both doing the quiz. Both like me. That's still appropriate. We're not. Well, I'll tell you what. Through the cosmic, you know, the cosmic order, I am you and you are me, and there's lots of things to do and see. You know, so there you go. We've got that. None of us like having our heads bashed in. None of us like that. Neither of us. All of us. None of us. Totally against having our heads bashed in. If it comes to a vote, we vote against head bashage. Definitely not big fans of that. I mean, there's a lot of things that people have in common, aren't there? Like, it's funny because I'm not supposed to spend too much time on this, but there's a lot of things that people have in common. And what's funny is a lot of them are all the same. Like, we all have a sense of humour, even if it's slightly different. We all have a sense of humour. We all do. Trust me, honestly. Honestly, truly, honestly, we must. Surely, even the bad people, well, not all the bad people. Well, look, most of them, they get a chuckle out of something. So, you'd say that, but then some people don't have the same sense of humour. So they'd say, no, it's not the same. It's not the same. But it kind of is. I mean, most of us have been squeezed out of a lady to be started off, and then we had breakfast. For what you do in your life, you feel most grateful. Number 9. For what in your life do you feel most grateful? I could take that seriously. I'd go on about it all the time. My lovely carpeted luxury prison. I feel grateful for my family, even though this week some of them have been the cause of dysfunction again. But I feel grateful for my family. And I feel grateful for the luxury. Some of us were born via C-section, right? Well, then you don't have that in common. But we wouldn't know. You wouldn't be able to tell. So you could just pretend. If you could change anything about the way you were raised, what would it be? Oh, there we go, straight into that. I'd probably have my parents not totally fucking up. It's too big. That is, you can't go into that in one line. That's a big, silly question. Isn't it? That's a big, silly question. Take 4 minutes and tell your partner your life story in as much... Oh, my God. Well, it's 5:15 now. I've got to go in 15 minutes. You expect me to have 4 minutes left at the end of these 10 questions, and I haven't even... My whole life story. What kind of a chuffing question is that? What kind of a... Honest to God. If I was in a... Imagine now, we're in the therapy room. We're in the therapy room. The therapist themselves... You know, at the end of every session, they got their, sorry, I'd like to talk about this some more, but our time is up. Maybe we could come back next week. And you think, well, next week everything's going to be different. I'm not even going to remember what I said. So chuff it then. Throw it up the wall. Every week it's like this, just add on an extra 15 minutes to me slot then. If it's always like this. No, I'd always be talking, wouldn't I? It'd never end. But take 4 minutes now. I've spent the 4 minutes chuffing about the 4 minutes concept. So if you could wake up tomorrow having gained any one quality or ability, what would it be? Now, I mean, there is one that springs to mind. There is one, but I don't know if I want it. The one that springs to mind is football genius. Because not only could you earn a lot of money, but I would refuse to play for any other club other than Birmingham. I suppose I wouldn't earn that much money then, would I? Oh, chuff. But I could play for England, play in the World Cup for England, and gain the quality or ability. I'm saying like genius level, like top. So I can score the goals and have all the success and the accolades. Win the World Cup for England. And that's not just for me. That's for everyone in the country who would feel that. It would be a remarkable ride, wouldn't it? That would be remarkable. Something that because as a football fan, I go and watch the people and cheer and, you know, dream and support. But the problem would be, is that, you know, like I said, I'm not at a young age where I can then have a career in the sport. I don't want to have to run around. I'd have to go in goal, wouldn't I? I wouldn't have to run around. I'd be tired. But I suppose the ability, the quality and the ability would probably, please, God, involve being fit as well, wouldn't it? So maybe that would just go with it. Or maybe I'd just have the ball skills and I'd have to work on the fitness. Oh, that would be a nightmare. That would be an absolute nightmare. They'd have to bring me on 10 minutes towards the end just to try and, affect the game with a little bit of skill, because I'll be out of puff. So there's that. Is there anything else? So the correct answer is that I was born to make you happy. So if I could just enhance that skill or ability, the ability to empathise more with my partner and to understand more how they think and feel so that I could react in the correct way. The ability to calm down and take 10 minutes before I smack you around the head and tell you to get out of bed. It's time for somebody to make somebody some breakfast. No, before that. The ability to just say, hey, hang on, I really respect and admire this person. Now get out of bed and make me my breakfast. No, there would be no smackage. Just gentle bum smackage. No, no aggressive partner smackage. I'm not making a joke about domestic abuse. I was just, like the sort of smack you might give a horse to make it run faster if you were some sort of brutal animal abuser that rode horses. I'm not. I don't know. So there's set one. Set one. We've only got 10 minutes now. Choosing football is probably the worst one, isn't it, really? If you're there with your partner, single man that is, for the single man, football, sporting ability. If you sat there with your missus, or your mister, or your miss, well, there isn't one of them. Them sounds rude. Sounds like you're being derogatory, like, them. But if you don't have a mister or a missus, or what would you call, whatever you call them, your partner. This doesn't sound right, Mr, Mrs, and partner. You could amalgamate Mr. and Mrs. into one word, couldn't you? Mysteries. Look, we're going to need to get on with this. If you're sat there with your partner and they answered sports skills, nunchuck skills, then you're going to be disappointed. Oh, boxing. MX is the neutral form of Mr. But I wouldn't know how to pronounce it. Mix. Mix. Look, the having gained any one quality or ability, what would it be? I know what I want to be. Bear in mind, I am very pro gender neutrality in conversation, because I do completely agree that if you grow up in a world where things are ascribed just in the language, then your feelings about how valid you are challenged even from a young age without you even understanding why. So I think it's important that we use gender neutral language. That's what I try, but I also find it difficult. Look, anyway, because we haven't fixed it yet. Gender's a construct tearing apart. There you go, exactly. So you're sitting here with anyone, or with no one, in my case, with no one. And if you answered sports, they're going to be sat next to you going, oh God, they just don't get it. All these questions. And number 12, you've chuffed it up for yourself. You just don't get it, do you? You don't get it. Why would you want sports? Oh, but I'd take you to the game. It'd be nice for you. You'd be on the cover of the magazines. Partner of football, rich would be rich. You can spend the money. I don't want the money. I just want you to value me and understand where I'm coming from. I'd be like, okay, I'll do that after I've won the World Cup. I have lots of time after I've won the World Cup. I'll retire. They'll be like, no, it's not working. Like the other thought I've had was boxing, wasn't it? Boxing would be brilliant, because even at it doesn't matter exactly how fit it would, but if I had the unique quality and ability, no one would be able to hit me, would they? I'd just always evade them. So it wouldn't matter if I was out of puff. They still can't win because they can't hit me. And then I get the unique quality and ability of when I strike, it's just like venom, coursing through their system. Oh, what was that? I'd love that. Oh, that'd be fun, wouldn't it? Going through the ranks, because I'm not even I'm probably coming at middleweight, and then I'd move through. Imagine a middleweight fighting the heavyweights, and being able to absolutely cream them as well. That'd be brilliant. It'd be so funny, because I'd know that I'd woken up with this quality and ability, so it was like a fantasy gift. So I'd know, even in the fight when they build up, I'm going to punch your head in. I'd go, you think you are? But they seek him here, they seek him there. But you can't even hit him because he woke up with an ability because he went to relationship counselling. And in the crowd, I'd wave to my partner, and they'd be there crying. Set 3. Look, okay, 5 minutes. 5 minutes, because I have got to go. I've made a cake and I've got to dress it. And I'm not properly dressed. One Punch Man. Yeah, imagine. I'd be like One Punch Man of competitive boxing. And the money that goes around with the competitive boxing. I'll tell you what would be funny as well. What would be really funny. I'd have to make it a good 20 minutes of it, because otherwise everyone would get cross. They like Floyd Mayweather because the fights used to last 12 rounds. You get your money's worth and he'd still win. But if I just did the Floyd Mayweather and they couldn't hit me, that's one thing. But if I just pound them out in the first round, every fight, imagine that. I'd have to say to the promoters, I want more than one fight lined up on a night. And they'd say, don't be silly. Don't be silly. It's even getting ridiculous now that you're fighting in these heavier weights. And I'd say, yeah, but I got this secret that you don't know, that I woke up with a magic ability. And they'd say, don't be silly. We're not risking, putting on 3 fights in a night. They won't even sanction it. But that would be, I'd have to be out in the car park bashing people up. Big long queue of them. 20 quid a head. Come and get bashed up by the champ of the world. Oh, it'd be fun. You could join the front of the queue if you voted for Brexit, and you don't even have to get charged the money. Look, so let's not get political. We've only got 4 minutes, so I've got 4 minutes, and we're going to get through set 2. So let's go quick fire round. Are you ready? This is for your relationship. Single man's guide to relationships. This is for your relationship. 13. It starts with 13, so that's bad luck. Number 13. If a crystal ball could tell you the truth about yourself, your life, the future, or anything else, what would you want to know? The lottery numbers, you chuffer. Everyone wants to know the lottery numbers. That's the silliest question ever. Everything else is subject to change. Depending on if we win the lottery, isn't it? So the lottery numbers, and then, chuff off. Yeah, anti-vaxxers. The problem with punching your anti-vaxxers is you wouldn't want to accidentally get the blood in your mouth in case you get infected with some stupidity. Look, number 14. Is there something that you've dreamed of doing for a long time? Why haven't you done it? Well, some things are beyond my control. So that's a mean question. I've got to do the correct answers as well. Number 13, the correct answer, the truth, future, life, or anything else. What would you want to know? I just want to know that I got a long and happy life with you, and that you weren't ever going to leave me for whatever reason. Then I could know truly in my heart that I could commit fully to this relationship and give myself fully to... Yeah, all right. Number 14, is there anything you dreamed about doing for a long time? I want to marry you and have kids and buy a big house in the country with a goat and let the goat run free. Why haven't you done it? Like, things are beyond my control. We haven't won the lottery. Are you trying to get at me? Number 15. What's the greatest accomplishment of your life? That's a bit harsh, isn't it? Again, that's a bit harsh. My great accomplishments have been that, number 1, I was a role model to younger people in times of difficulty sometimes. So I'm not going to pick out particular times, but over the course of my life, I have presented myself as a role model to certain younger people, and that has been important. I've been there for my friends whenever, hopefully, they needed me in times of difficulty. Been there for my friends. I still maintain a good relationship with my family, which is quite an accomplishment because of the dysfunction. I created and achieved went from being the hairdressing junior, being pushed around the salon, to being the guy who pays the bills and didn't own the building, but owns the business and runs the salon. So that was quite an accomplishment. Same principle was I went into a fencing gym, and I couldn't hold the sword properly. And then when I finished that some years later, I was the British champion and went to the World's Championships. So that was quite an accomplishment, but not the one I value the high. Of course, the greatest accomplishment of my life is that I'm with you and that we've got a good relationship and that I can learn from you and listen to you. The greatest accomplishment of my life is that is yet to come, hopefully. Still, hopefully is yet to come. And like I said, even through the hairdressing, I was a mentor to younger people, and hopefully, I remember once somebody did a haircut and the lady wasn't very happy and she cried, and not the lady was mean, and the stylist cried, and I said, lady, you're gonna have to go away because the haircut's quite good, there's nothing wrong with it, you can have it for free if you want, but just get out. And stylist, give me a hug, you don't feel very confident. You're good, don't worry, you're good. And for that person to become someone who I literally gave the keys of the shop to and said, you get on with it because you are competent. Those sort of accomplishments are important. And I've got really serious again, didn't I? Got really serious. I've run out of time. We've got to power through. So accomplishments, yeah. I'm sure there's some more. I'd like to think so. But we can come back to that next time. What do you value most in a friendship? Loyalty and honesty. Simple, isn't it? It's simple. Honesty and loyalty are the most valuable things. Time and, giving your time to people and being available is important, but not all my friends are, and I don't expect them to be. But loyalty and honesty, always tell me the truth. I'll always tell you the truth. And I'm not ever going to stitch you up or secretly gain something from you, or, that was his fiver and I'll, don't tell him about that, or any of that, loyalty and honesty. What's your most treasured memory? I don't know. That time that we had the 50 sub bomb. What's your most terrible memory? Oh, I've got a few of them. Not time to go into it now. If you knew in what year you would die suddenly, would you change anything about the way you're now living? Why? What? Or in 1 year? That's a horrible, brutal question. Would you change anything about the way you're living? Yeah, I'd be more rude to people, because more brutally rude. And also, I would spend the entire time trying to develop scientific breakthroughs against sudden death. I think, maybe. What does friendship mean to you? What? Friendship's like when you know someone really well. What roles do love and affection play in your life? Like, single man, none. I did it twice, the joke, but it's true. No, I love the dog. I'm very affectionate with the dog. The correct answer, of course, to it's important, it's the most important thing. But yeah, it could play more of a part in my life. I believe that I'm quite loving, aren't I, in my outlook. I think that love is the most important thing in my life, and that should... how, like, if you have a bad morning and you don't drink your coffee and you stub your toe and you're angry, and then the ice cream van doesn't stop, the bus moves, not the ice cream van, the bus doesn't stop, and you're angry, and that clouds your judgment. Like, love should cloud your judgment in the other way, shouldn't it? In a nice way. That should be the most important thing. Alternate sharing something you can take it in turn, sharing something you consider a positive characteristic of your partner. They like me. They're big fans of me. They'll put up with me. Share a total of 5 items. I like their hair and their perfume and that hat they sometimes wear. Did you introduce me to The Sopranos? Oh no, that was my ex. Yeah, the hat. It's mainly the hat. No, the correct answer to that is 5 items isn't a total list. How could I ever begin? Let's start saying things. Just in the correct answer, don't even worry if they're positive or negative. Just state characteristics, and the fact that you're phrasing it as a positive will get a smile, even if it doesn't seem like a positive. I like the way you shout at me. Oh, do you? Oh, I thought that was a negative. Oh no, I like the way you're very forthright with your opinion. See, I turned it into a positive. See, they'll like that. How warm? How close and warm is your family? Oh, very. Not very. Depends which member, doesn't it? Depends which member. Do you feel your childhood was happier than most other people's? No. But then, I'm saying that on a Western principle. Yes, when you compare it to the world, because there are some people whose childhood involved getting their house blown up and then their parents killed, and then maybe they were killed. So that was bad. Like, there are so many bad things that happened to children that were worse than happened to me. So I think it wasn't happier than most, but I also don't think it was... I think it probably was happier than most, but then it could have been happier. How do you feel about your relationship with your mother? Yeah, it's all right. I mean, she's in the other room. We get on all right, me and my mom. Yeah. Set 3. And it's... have we got time to bash set... Yeah, look, they're only short. Set 3. All right, ready? This is how to solve a relationship. Set 3. Make 3 true we statements each. For instance, we are both in this room feeling... ... Oh, that's the ... I thought I'll use that one. Number 1, we're both in this room feeling. There's one. Number 2, we both like me. Been over that one. Number 3, we both can't stand it when you shout. We're both tired of this mess. Complete this sentence. I wish I had someone with whom I could share. Oh no, complete the sentence. Again, it's one of the... The correct answer, of course, is I wish I had with someone with whom I could share my love of you. Because, oh no, that's wrong, isn't it? That sounds bad. What I mean is, sometimes there's just so much and I can't express it enough. So I wish there were 2 of you so that I could share. That's probably better. I wish I had someone with whom I could share. I mean, there are people with whom I can share. I suppose, I'll tell you what, if I wanted to complete that in a real, honest, brutal way, I'd say I wish I had someone with whom I could share making music constructively, productively. Because me on my own, I never seem to get it all done. But I think if I was in a band, then all the songs would exist. So I wish I had a band, like, and we rehearsed once a week. If you were going, again, what a terrible answer to the question for relationship practice. Relationship. I wish I had someone with whom I could leave the house and play loud music with. Wish I had someone with whom I could share childcare responsibilities. If you were going to become a close friend with your partner, please share what would be important for them to know. What? Well, number one, you should know that it's already too late. You would already be a close friend in order to become a partner. Oh, I suppose this is if you're doing the exercise with just somebody you want to get to know, isn't it? Just someone you want to get to know. I'm not always going to reply to texts. I'm hardly ever going to answer the phone. So don't see that as rude, and don't feel bad. Tell your partner what you like about them. Oh, we spent the whole time doing this. It's hard to even go over it all again. Be very honest this time. Saying things you might not say to someone you just met. Ooh, I like your hat. Number 29. Share with your partner an embarrassing moment in your life. Well, that's not gonna. I'll tell you that story about how once I rolled around in that. I haven't got a story. This is not a true story. I'll make one up about how I rolled around in that dog poo. Now, of course, you're going to love me more because you're going to imagine me all rolling around in dog poo. No, that's going to put you off. You're going to think, up until this point, I had this vision of us, at our wedding, both dressed in white, and now I see you smeared and smelly. It just puts me off. Shouldn't have told me that embarrassing story. Should have kept that one under wraps. Should have kept that. What have I done that's embarrassing? Probably the worst one I did that I felt embarrassed, because I don't often feel embarrassed. That's difficult because I don't feel much embarrassment. I don't care what people think, whatever. But one time we were playing a gig. This is a band story again. I was on the bass guitar playing a gig. I was full rock and roll. I was wearing a mini skirt. I had writing on my body, and I was like makeup and full rock and roll. And it was a gig, and it was it was only at the local village hall at the neighbouring town's village hall, but it was a gig. It was like 17 or 16 playing a gig, and people in the audience, and I'm on the stage amongst other people, and I don't always have the microphone, but I thought, look, it's time to get this crowd going. So I grabbed the microphone. I said, hey, everybody get up. I want to see everybody. Doesn't matter if you're at the bar or if you're over there. I want to see everybody get up onto your feet for this one. And so people get up, don't they? They do what they're told. They do by the strange boy with the strange clothing and the mini skirt. Look, they get up. They stand in the boots. I was wearing the big boots. They get up. And then I said, this boy is not standing up. This boy is not standing up. Like, people around. Someone's knocking on my window now. I'm gonna have to deal with that in a minute. People around. Can you tell this boy to stand up? And so they told, gather, and lo and behold, he's in a wheelchair, so you can't. I actually feel embarrassed about it now. He was in a wheelchair, so he shouldn't. And when I noticed, I was like, oh shit! Obviously, don't stand up. The moment's passed. The rock and roll moment's passed. So just you chill out. You calm down, and I'll just play this next song, and everything will be cool, won't it? Yeah, that was fun. So we're not going to get through the rest of these questions because someone is now literally knocking on my door and I have to go. So there you go. We'll come back to these though, because these are fun, aren't they? These are fun. We'll come back to these, and you have to every 3 weeks, otherwise your relationship will fall apart. So you be good, my little puckos. You be good. And if you can't be good, then it's counselling.
Ganjikidd.